Reducing demand for energy is an essential element of any ambitious strategy. And indeed, one could argue that the most affordable power is the power that's never created or needed. Our next discussion will delve into energy efficiency. Let me ask our panel to come up on stage. Minister Harsh Vardhan of India, Bill Bien, Kate Hampton, Dave Regnery, and Kateri Callahan. Kateri is the very able president of the Alliance to Save Energy, and as moderator will introduce this panel.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Kevin, for that kind introduction. We are really excited that the Clean Energy Ministerial has chosen as its first panel here today at the Public-Private Action Summit, Super Efficient Appliances for Prosperous and Healthy Societies. Appliance and equipment efficiency is really a critical area that has a proven, cost-effective track record for delivering both energy savings and emission savings. In my home country of the U.S., just last year alone, appliance and equipment standards saved American consumers and businesses $63 billion. And with the impressive track record of our Department of Energy, over the course of the last 9 years, they have really taken unprecedented steps and put forward 40 different new standards and or updated standards that collectively by 2030 will save Americans $540 billion, and very important to our business here today, will avoid emissions of 2.3 billion metric tons. So from the Alliance to Save Energy's perspective, my organization, efficient appliances and equipments are a key strategy for any country putting together its plan for meeting commitments in Paris. Well, today is a day of action, and we have a lot of action to talk about with this very distinguished group of speakers. But we also have very little time to do it. So I've asked them to give really rapid fire to give their commitments in a rapid-fire format, so hopefully we will preserve a couple of minutes at the end of the session for some discussion. I'm very honored to introduce to you our first speaker this morning, Dr. Harsh Vardhan. He's India's Minister of Science, Technology, and Earth Sciences, and he's with us this morning to launch the Advanced Cooling Challenge. Dr. Vardhan?
Can I go there?
Oh, no, just from here is fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Trying to keep it a little informal.
Distinguished panelists, all my esteemed colleagues, friends, well, it's a very, very privileged moment for me on behalf of my country to be participating in this discussion. Before I say something, I wish to convey the greetings of my Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is a very, very passionate supporter of the clean energy movement for this world and has conveyed his good wishes for the global success of this movement. Friends, on behalf of the country, I wish to make a brief statement about the two critical issues that are being discussed in this particular session regarding the Advanced Cooling Challenge and the lighting. Friends, lighting and cooling areas are two segments which consume significant energy, and there is a huge potential for energy efficiency improvements. In India, cooling comprises 40 to 60% of the summer peak load in metros. Interestingly, the household penetration of air conditioners in India is just 6%, which is also growing rapidly. Economic activity, urbanization, lifestyle, and health concerns are the key drivers for the growth of air conditioners market in India. Room air conditioner market has grown at a CAGR of around 12.9% from the year 2005 to the year 2013. The present room air conditioner market stands close to 4.5 million, which is expected to rise to 7 million by the year 2020. The market of 4 and 5 star labeled air conditioners is just around 25% of the total AC market in India. The objective is the mass market deployment of super efficient, low global warming potential refrigerant, residential space cooling products in India. The challenge is to catalyze the private sector to develop products that perform efficiently in hot, humid, and hot, dry climate conditions, incorporate new climate-friendly refrigerants or other technologies to eliminate the use of high global warming potential substances. The cooling products are demand response ready to ease peak load burdens, and the cooling products are primed for mass market adoption with a compelling mix of consumer features and competitive pricing. As a way forward, the following strategies have been identified by the Government of India to transform the room air conditioner market in India. Number one, mandatory star labeling through regulation, increasing the penetration of 5-star RACs in the market by organizing retailer training programs, and reducing taxes levies which could reduce the market operating price of RACs, focus on the development of new and emerging technologies as well as super efficient air conditioners. To overcome the price challenge, the government will analyze incentive options such as price buy down, consumer rebate vouchers through utilities, and a program similar to the demand aggregation as adopted by LEDs. In the long term, incentive options such as grant funding for R&D, clean energy funding, etc. will also be explored. Friends, at this particular moment, I also wish to apprise this August gathering about the progress that India has made on the LED front, which we had promised in the earlier years. India has successfully implemented the world's largest LED lighting program that is built on aggregation of demand, bulk procurement through a transparent process, and enhancing awareness and information about the benefits of using LED bulbs. So far, the Unnat Jyoti by Affordable LED for All, we call it as the Ujala program in India, has distributed over 110.5 million LED bulbs, avoiding over 2,871 megawatts of peak demand, reducing GHG emissions worth 31,000 tons of carbon dioxide every day, and savings of $2.3 million daily of consumer bills. All this has been done without any subsidy oblique grants through the market aggregation, and the bulk costs have reduced by over 83% over the last 2 years only. From $5 per bulb of 7 watts in Feb 2014 to just about 80 cents for a 9-watt bulb in March 2016. India has targeted to distribute 770 million LED bulbs by 2019, thereby saving 20,000 megawatts of peak demand, 80 million tons of GHG emissions, and $6 billion of reduction in energy bills of consumers. The LED program has seen India led the way by driving 12% of global LED demand at present, up from 0.1% a couple of years ago. We are replicating the LED model for other appliances and energy using equipments. This is the progress on the LED front, and I can assure this House that regarding the advanced cooling challenge, also India is not only initializing but proactively we are going to provide the lead to the whole world and make sure that when we meet again in China, we have something perceptible and measurable to present before this August House. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vardhan. We're very excited about the new air conditioning challenge, and obviously with all the great success you've had, we'll look forward to a good report next year. We're now going to turn to Kate Hampton, who is the CEO of the Children's Investment Fund Foundation. Kate?
Good morning. Air conditioning places a very significant burden on energy systems, as we've heard. The current AC stock is about 900 million, and it's going to go up to about 2.5 billion by 2050. If we can increase the efficiency of air conditioning and change out the coolant at the same time, we could achieve 100 gigatons of avoided emissions by 2050. As well as all the economic and health benefits, not least of which is avoiding the necessity of constructing, by 2030, 1,500 peak power plants globally and 2,500 peak power plants by 2050. That is a big deal. As a consequence, CIF, which is a UK-based philanthropy focused on child health, child protection, and climate change, we decided to join the CEM cooling challenge, and we're committing 12.8 million over 3 years to support a team of expert organizations to work with governments and industry around the world to do this double win of improving the energy efficiency of air conditioners while phasing down super polluting HFCs. Now, this is not as easy as it sounds because these different things are regulated by different parts of government. Lots of countries have different regulatory cycles, but what we want to do is really get a number of key countries, particularly China and India, to get all the help they need to really focus on fixing this problem and saving huge amounts of money for consumers over the long term. We think that the Clean Energy Ministerial is a great place for philanthropy and civil society to work with governments and industry in the spirit of collaboration that delivered us the Paris Agreement. We have to deliver the implementation. We've been funding advocacy and technical assistance to support an amendment to the Montreal Protocol for 7 years. We're pretty hopeful that we can get an amendment to the Montreal Protocol for a global phase down of HFCs. That's one of the 6 greenhouse gases dealt with definitively under the world's most effective environmental treaty. It's a super fast mitigation opportunity. We can get this done this year. It's the kind of multilateral win that we need to give people hope that humanity is in fact up to the challenge of addressing climate change. We all know that time is running out, and while air conditioning sounds like part of the unsexy underbelly of climate mitigation, it is in fact very cool, and it could make the difference between, that's a horrible pun, between catastrophe and 2 degrees, and it will certainly make it easier to aim for 1.5 degrees. So don't forget air conditioning. It's got to be right up there, front and center this year, next year, until we fix this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. I think our next speaker may beg to differ that air conditioning is sexy, but our last man of action, if you will, to speak today is very important because we've heard from government, we've heard from now the NGO community, but we need to hear from those that are producing highly efficient air conditioning that can allow us to meet this challenge. So I am delighted to introduce to you Dave Regnery. He's the president of HVAC North America, Europe, and the Middle East and Africa for Ingersoll Rand. In this capacity, Dave heads Trane, which is a world leader in AC systems, solutions, and services. On a personal note, I'm very pleased and proud that Ingersoll Rand serves on the board of directors of the Alliance to Save Energy, evidencing their huge commitment to energy efficiency. Dave?
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. And Kate, thanks for the kind words on HVAC. We do think it's sexy. As part of the advanced cooling challenge, we'd like to make, in conjunction with Ingersoll Rand's climate commitment, we'd like to make the following commitments. The first is that we're committing by 2020, with a baseline of 2014, to reduce the greenhouse gas footprints of our products sold by 50%. By 50%.
Wow.
And we're going to do that by innovating new products that are highly efficient while those products are using next generation environmentally friendly refrigerants. So we've been at this for about 18 months now. We've already launched our initial products into the marketplace. They're available. Our customers are buying them. I would tell you that our new product pipeline is full. The second commitment is that we're going to invest $500 million, $500 million over that time period to ensure that this goal becomes a reality. And the last commitment, number 3, is that we're going to commit to reducing our own greenhouse gas footprint through all of our operations on a global basis by 35%.
Wow.
So in my role, I get to talk to a lot of customers. I talk to individuals that run schools. I talk to individuals that run hospitals, data centers, commercial buildings. I would tell you what the conversations are all about. They're all about energy efficiency. They're all about next generation refrigerants. They're all about creating a safe, healthy environment for them to reside. I think we all understand that buildings, both residential, industrial, and commercial, are a big opportunity across the globe. All buildings consume about 50%, north of 50% of all the power that's generated. Think about the opportunities that exist by reducing that footprint, by having more efficient products. I'm happy to be part of the challenge, speaking on behalf of Trane and Ingersoll Rand. We're very passionate about the environment, and I look forward to inventing even more efficient products that are using next generation refrigerants well into the future to help serve our customers. So thank you, and I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you, Dave. So we had a little change up in the agenda this morning. We had hoped to have Mr. Nils Vikmång from the government of Sweden here to start off the discussion on the global lighting challenge, but he was called back on government business. So I'm going to take off my moderator's hat for a moment and put on the presenter's hat and introduce the next topic for us, which is the global lighting challenge. I think many of you, if not all of you, know that lighting is a big deal in terms of energy use. In 2014, it represented 15% of global energy use and fully 5% of global greenhouse gas emissions. So anything we can do to accelerate the transition to energy efficiency lighting could be one of the most significant short-term initiatives to help improve economic and climate conditions. And few actions that we could take to reduce carbon emissions on a large scale could be done as cheaply, quickly, and easily as the phase out of inefficient lighting. And I think that point was made very well by Mr. Vardhan. Over the past 5 years, price reductions in LED bills have transformed the economies of the industry. Here in the United States, LED bulbs are brighter, they have better color quality, improved dimming capabilities, and they can be purchased at your local home improvement or hardware store for as little as $5. Other LED lighting products are also becoming more affordable. The question for the Clean Energy Ministerial is how quickly the market will transition, what other uses and sectors can we have that will help us nudge us to the point of transition, and how do we ensure that this transition will be at the level of quality and performance that's promised by the technology. So to make sure that we're doing, as a world, everything we can, the Clean Energy Ministerial chose to pursue a global lighting challenge. It's an everybody wins race to the global sales of 10 billion highly efficient and high-quality lighting products like LED light bulbs. The campaign is built to highlight those leading the global lighting transition to these types of products. And since its formal launch on the sides of the Paris climate negotiations last December, the Global Lighting Challenge, or GLC as we lovingly call it, has built a public-private volunteer coalition of more than 40 governments, manufacturers, retailers, and expert groups who are working together to accomplish the 10 billion product goal. Just yesterday, 2 new countries joined the Global Lighting Challenge in the closed-door ministerial. I'm pleased to welcome Canada and the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, as 2 of the newest countries to the campaign. Please join me in welcoming them. And subnational governments are getting into the game too. Today, Governor Inslee and the state of Washington have announced their commitment to the Global Lighting Challenge. They're going to require new investment, and they're going to make sure that they have effective LED lighting for all streets and highways in the state of Washington. Other countries have increased their ambitions when it comes to deploying advanced lighting, and I would mention Sweden, since they're not here to do the honors themselves, but they have announced a commitment to the Global Lighting Challenge in which they aim to reduce by half the electricity demand in the country of Sweden by 2020. In total, we have accumulated commitments of about around 6.5 billion, and we've deployed already over 100 million lighting products as contributions to the challenge. People are signing up for more information or to ask how to make commitments to the challenge, especially for the poorest and future. Oops. And I've just lost my place on this. So every day through the Global Lighting Challenge, and I have late breaking news, which is the paper that I have here. We just have a very important addition as of this morning to the Global Lighting Challenge. The Vatican has made a commitment to participate in the Global Challenge. Yes, I think that's worth applause. I have a statement from Monsignor Serrando. He is the Chancellor to the Pontifical Academy of Science, and he wants me to tell you that he encourages the members of the Clean Energy Ministerial to approach this effort and all your work with urgency, to have great ambition towards a greater good, to take into account the whole human family in an effort to protect our common home. And we're not the Vatican, but the Alliance to Save Energy also is doing its part and has added to the commitment. Over the past couple of weeks, the Global Lighting Challenge social media outlets have been showcasing iconic landmarks and buildings that are using high-efficiency LED lighting for illumination. Over the mid-morning break, we're going to be displaying some of these iconic buildings from the Clean Energy Ministerial countries, so I hope you'll take a look and see if you can find yours. And now, I'm going to stop with that and put back on my moderator's hat and introduce to you Bill Bean. Bill is the Senior Vice President and CMO and Head of Strategy for Philips Lighting. Philips has been a leader not just in making highly efficient lighting products, but also in calling for government action to phase out inefficient light bulbs. In the US, they worked alongside advocates like us to put in place legislation in 2007 to phase out inefficient lighting, and they've done the same in Europe and in Australia. So they really walk the walk, and they make great products. So Bill, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kateri. It's an honor, it's a profound honor to be here. Just this past Friday, we IPO'd our company, so we're separate from Royal Philips now, so we can focus exclusively on sustainability, and I thought that day was exciting. This day is even more exciting because of the challenge that we're all tackling together and trying to address. So I'm going to share with you three things briefly. One is our strategy to expand our sales of LED products to address this challenge, and then share with you our commitment to carbon neutrality, and then saving the best for last, sharing with you our commitment for the Global Lighting Challenge. Today we are witnessing a huge change in lighting because the change to LED enables us to make better products. And we profoundly feel that making the planet more sustainable is not just making a commitment, it's creating greater value so people actually buy the products. So we do this through making higher quality LEDs with better quality of light, greater energy savings, but also making light becoming the Internet of Things backbone. And we can do that. And what that enables us to do is to add software to the lighting. So I'll just give you a couple examples of our strategic goals, and they're in place. So LED lighting itself can reduce your energy consumption from 50 to 80%, depending on the light bulb. By connecting it to systems with software, which we're doing for cities, we can reduce it by another 30 to 40%. So that means the lighting consumption drops from anywhere from 50 to 80%. We can do the same thing in offices, and we're doing that through the Internet of Things systems. And then more profoundly, what we're also doing is creating greater value through software automation, greater colors, so people can actually now use light as a data source, enabling them to connect with the internet and have better consumer engagement if they're a shop owner, or just more enjoyable experiences if they're at home and connecting their lighting to their music system for better experiences. So that's what we're trying to do to spur adoption. As a company, we announced at COP21 that we are also committing to 100% carbon neutrality by 2020. And I'm here today to say that we have a plan to do that. We plan to, in the United States in 2016, to shift to 100% renewable electricity purchasing. And around the world, we're going to shift 4 things during the next 4 years to achieve this. We're going to reduce the consumption of our manufacturing footprint of fossil fuels to renewable electricity. And we are going to shift our non-industrial sites, our use of logistics and travel to greater uses of renewable energy and zero carbon output. And when necessary, we will also produce and purchase carbon offsets. But let me talk about what really is the most exciting for us and hopefully for you as well. Today, as part of the Global Lighting Challenge, we're proud to announce, with a deep sense of responsibility to achieve this goal, our commitment to sell globally more than 2 billion LED lighting by the year 2020. This energy savings of 2 billion LED lights will amount to more than euro 12 billion, money that can be invested elsewhere by the purchasers, whether it's in their homes, in their communities, or in their companies. And we believe that these energy savings are just significant for everyone. By achieving this goal, we'll be able to switch off collectively around the globe 60 medium power stations by 2020, or think about it this way, 24 million fossil fuel burning cars off the road.
That's great.
I am confident we'll meet this challenge because it's our business to do that, because I know the passion and talent of our employees around the world. 125 years ago, Philips Lighting was created to basically light the world, to make the life better for people. Now we're born again on Friday, last Friday, with the singular focus on sustainability and to arresting climate change. We're honored to join you in this journey, and we hope we can make a difference.
That's great. Thank you. This has been a tremendous panel. We're going to do something very generous for the organizers and the folks here in the room. We're going to give back a little bit of our time and not do the Q&A since we're running a bit behind. But in doing that, I want to ask you to do us two favors. The first is, please thank these folks for the huge commitments that they are making and the commitments that they represent that many, many others are making through both the Advanced Cooling Challenge and the Global Lighting Challenge. So please, a warm round of applause for what they're doing for the country. The second thing I'm going to ask is for all of you to take action. I hope you were inspired by what you heard today. You can join the Global Lighting Challenge, you can join the Advanced Cooling Challenge, and you can visit the posted links and do that. So I encourage each and every one of you, while you're inspired, take action now. We can make a difference. Thank you very much.